Israel facing backlash over its controversial missile strike on Doha. Qatari officials vow to hold Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responsible for breaking international law with yesterday's attack. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb reports from Qatar's capital city.
I would tell you this, I was very unhappy about it, very unhappy about every aspect, and we got to get the hostages back. But I was very unhappy about the way that went down.
The series of Israeli airstrikes on this building in Doha's quiet embassy district sent shockwaves through the Qatari capital. Any hopes President Trump had of Hamas, whose political leaders had gathered here apparently to discuss his latest proposal to end the violence in Gaza and free the remaining hostages, now seem up in smoke. It also seems to have deeply rattled the Trump administration, who are incredibly close allies with Qatar, who not only host the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East, but are also gifting the president a plane to be used as the next Air Force One. Qatar's Prime Minister, meanwhile, has called the Israeli strike an act of, quote, state terrorism, saying, "Does the world need a clearer message than this? Who is closing the door to peace?" Qatari leaders also say they were only contacted by U.S. officials about the Israeli strike 10 minutes after it happened. Dubbed Summit of Fire by Israeli leaders, the attack appears to have derailed the talks which Qatar had been hosting. The tiny Gulf kingdom is one of the few direct channels between the U.S., Israel, and Hamas, and has hosted countless rounds of negotiations to end the war in Gaza and free the remaining hostages.
And Qatar has a long history of being considered neutral territory for complicated diplomatic negotiations, including hosting talks between the Afghan Taliban and the previous Trump administration. And given the White House was alerted in advance of the Doha attack by Israel, Qatari leaders here are asking why they weren't informed ahead of time. Imtiaz Tayeb, CBS News, Doha, Qatar.